Welcome to the RankEmPodcast reaction show where we, NSFW, fully unedited, full frontal, react to the episode we just ranked. This week's was the top, or our 5 most underrated Attitude Era wrestlers. And I'm sure there's plenty to talk about. So we'll bring Reece back in, as well as my good friend Don Garwood. Guys, any thoughts?
I
had so many people on my list.
I'm more upset about the Hardy Boys being on your list.
So am I.
There's no way that they're A-list. There's no way.
Right, not in
the Attitude
I'm going
Era.
to say not in like 2002, but there really was a transition in the early 2000s where tag teams where the tag teams that they had really kind of started to be headliners. That were the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys. I mean, there was like a small transition there where because of what they were doing, they were selling out arenas and being the draw to those like pay-per-views.
See, but I mean, table, ladders, and chairs, yeah, but I don't think that was the draw. Like they didn't.
I think
the
Attitude Era was like this. The start of that was when Billy Gunn and Jesse James started the rivalry with the Road Warriors. Like
right.
That was like a changing of the guard for the tag team championship, and then that led into the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, and Edge and Christian being in this like 3-way rock paper scissors of like that's the ladder match for the championships that those 3 were in. It was like a triple threat ladder match tag team champions. It was one of the best matches of all time.
And TLC 2 is up there as well. Like the sequel to that the next year or whenever it was up there too. And they all, for the most part, and we're forgetting Too Cool as well, who was another. They weren't quite that cool, but everybody liked them. Like they weren't A-list.
Yeah, just Scotty Too Hotty.
I was going to say, like, are we going to say Scotty Too Hotty was an A-lister? No.
But what they had was
Rikishi was a part of that group.
Yeah, and
for a little bit.
They for the most part, all those guys went on to have a pretty successful solo career afterwards. Jeff Hardy ended up winning heavyweight championships.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy won some. They both got super into
Jeff
drugs.
never won a championship, but Matt did.
I think Jeff was supposed to win one.
Matt
showed up to the arena super high, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then he couldn't even it's like the most awkward match in history where he's just like in the corner staring at the dude, and it was a mess. And then they finally came back 2 years ago, quote unquote clean. The Dudley Boys kind of had some runs. Devon Dudley became a preacher with.
Yeah, he was
Brother
the
Dudley.
Brother Dudley, yeah.
With A-Train. Or no, the Godfather became the Good Father.
The Good Father.
So where is your cutoff to A-list to B-list? Because
I mean, your guys make
your upper echelon. There's a difference between your upper echelon dudes and everybody else.
I guess, in my opinion, what would make someone A-list?
I mean, the A-list is bigger than 5 people, though.
Right.
You're making it sound like there's 5.
I don't know that it is.
Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Stone Cold.
There's 8 guys.
The Rock,
Mick Foley, Mankind, or whatever.
Yeah, Undertaker, Kane,
right.
Big Show,
and that might be the cutoff. Kurt Angle at the very tail end of.
Right, and I mean there were more. The big boss man wasn't quite A-list. He was kind of B-list.
No.
He was on my honorable mention list.
He was B-list.
Well, he wasn't, but he was on. When I was making this up, I wrote 12 people down. Chris Jericho,
eventually was A-list.
He came in the year 2001.
Right, but
he came in and immediately won the championship.
Right, but he didn't reach his peak of A-list till kind of after the Attitude Era was over. Was he A-list at the very end of the Attitude Era? Yeah, sure. But I think your guys' definition is,
okay, so
you're getting 15, 16, 17
wrong,
dudes.
You're wrong, but you're not wrong. That'd be like if we were ranking the late 80s and we were Stone Cold was underrated. Well, he wasn't Stone Cold then.
Right.
But he goes on to become one of the greatest of all time.
Right, but
he was stunning Steve Austin in 1991.
I get that, but if you're ranking wrestlers from 1988 to 1992, then no, Steve Austin is not an A-list guy.
Right. He was
but
Ted
I also
DiBiase.
wouldn't
He
rank
was the
him
guy
as
that
an
walked
underrated
Ted DiBiase
person.
into the ring.
I think in the Attitude Era, the Hardy Boys were underrated, obviously, because they then go on. Matt Hardy goes on to win the WWE Heavyweight Championship in 2008. So 5 years after the Attitude Era is over, they're like, oh, hey, maybe he should be the heavyweight champion of the world. So during the Attitude Era, he's underrated.
Now, right. I mean, granted, he won the heavyweight, and it was the SmackDown Championship.
It was
and
like
he beat
six times.
He beat like Montel Vontavious Porter, MVP.
Well, it said he...
Fact check me.
It said he won the heavyweight championship 6 times, I believe.
Yeah, and did Jeff never did?
Okay, so, no, Matt... No, hold on. Yeah, Matt never won. Jeff won.
I thought you had
always
that
got
backwards,
mixed,
but I wasn't sure.
So Matt
Because
was
Jeff Hardy was Swanton bombing everyone, and
Right.
that's what everyone loved.
Okay, so he was a 6-time world champion. He had the WWE championship, but then was the heavyweight champion twice.
There you go.
So
Which
Jeff.
was the SmackDown got heavyweight, and then like Raw got like the...
Yeah,
And
it's
then
like
they got-
one is the heavyweight, and the other one was like the
And then
world championship.
and then
or some
Chris
shit.
Jericho won the unified
And like I said, I
championship.
didn't watch after 2002
Right.
or 3 or...
But Chris Jericho won the first unified championship in the Elimination Chamber match with like Stone Cold, The Rock, Brock Lesnar, Triple H, and somebody else that was huge at the time, maybe even The Undertaker. And Chris Jericho ended up winning it. Might have been Kurt Angle instead of The Undertaker.
It looks
Yeah,
like
I remember the match you're talking about, but I don't.
Jeff
remember
Hardy...
'cause it was like the first Elimination Chamber match.
Jeff Hardy won his WWE Championship over Edge and Triple H in a triple threat match. So, I mean, that's not whoever the hell you said he beat. That was
Well, I was talking
some
about
fucking nobody.
I was talking about Matt Hardy had
Chris
a rivalry with
Jericho is who
Montel
he was talking
Vontavious
about.
Porter.
Oh, get out of here with MVP, random name that you remember. So, like I said, you're wrong, but you're not wrong, and I gave you props for that. I'm more upset with how much you tried to hype up the spear.
Oh, it was such a great... Like, it looks awesome.
He wasn't even the best person to do the spear.
No,
Oh.
he's the spear.
Goldberg's spear was much better than that.
Yeah, but Goldberg is this huge, physically imposing dude. Edge is... I mean, he's tall,
Right.
but he's not...
I mean, Rhino had a cooler gore too.
Well,
Well, it was the gore and not the spear.
Edge's spear was violent. Like, it was... Like
It was violent because he went flying after he landed it.
Right, great. Well, no,
Yeah.
I mean, that collision was violent. Like, Goldberg was just like... It's like, you know, Goldberg's was like if a lineman did it, and Edge's was like if Ed Reed did it.
Does anybody think Chris Benoit was underrated?
I thought about like
okay, so okay,
he
thought
was.
about-
He was A-list.
He was A-list.
Yeah, no, like the diving headbutt and the crossface were.
I remember
Like,
this guy, but
my-
I just
my
can't
poor
find him on any,
sister-
on any WWE websites.
Yeah, I've been looking.
So, did you guys watch the documentary that just came out about
I
that?
have
No,
not yet.
Maybe
No.
3 weeks ago.
No, not yet.
Check it out.
Does he kill his
It's,
wife and kid?
Yeah, it's the
solid.
same ending.
I'm not going to spoil. I'm not going to spoil it.
I was hoping for the alternate ending.
because it's only 3 weeks old, so I don't want to spoil it. But
I got you. Do you have a name?
It's on
What's that?
HBO, right?
I'd have to look up. I forget. I watched it illegally.
Chris Benoit
Wow.
documentary.
But it just came out like 3 weeks ago. Also, Don
called-
just stepping all up on my dick in the beginning of the podcast.
It's called Dark Side of the Ring.
Like, hey man, I got some favorite moments. Yeah, remember when he was a tag team partner with Kane?
I said that
Hey,
stuff.
remember when they almost cut his dick off?
I said
Hey,
that
how about you
stuff
shut the fuck up?
before you were talking about your lists, and I just got so excited because I wanted to talk about at least one of them, and I knew that I had them higher up on my list, and that you were going to take all of the glory from me.
When Garrett said Steve Blackman, I was like, dang. Like, he got Blackman before me.
Like
Right.
I never thought that he would be on either of your guys' lists. Like I thought I might be the only person who ever remembered Steve Blackman. So I was kind of surprised that Don, you had him on what?
No.
Number 2?
Number 2.
I had him at 3.
I had him 1 originally, and then bumped Ken Shamrock. Like Ken Shamrock, Billy Gunn, and Steve Blackman on the drive over here were constantly fighting each other for number 1.
Just a bat in Don's head.
It was a triple threat match for your number 1 spot.
So some of the people that I wrote down that I didn't even put, D'Lo Brown.
See, okay, so when I was reading Al Snow's Wikipedia page, Al Snow and D'Lo Brown were running a wrestling school in Lima in 1995, from 95 through 97. Like,
really?
How
so
badass is that?
Al Snow actually was like one of, I didn't want to be like an uber nerd and be like, yeah, Al Snow was actually one of the leaders in the locker room.
He's a producer now.
Yeah, but he also, like, so the reason he didn't get as much push was because he used too much, like, behind-the-scenes jargon when he talked.
Oh, he wasn't as good on the mic
and stuff. It wasn't that he wasn't good on the mic. He just
bringing
was
up
using.
kayfabe
It'd
in
be
interviews.
like you talking to me about like software and coding and using like words and abbreviations that you use for that, and I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So I had Dean Malenko, who's WCW for the most part. He came to WWE. I had Billy Kidman, which on my drive over when I was trying to think of him, I was like, I loved this dude when he was in WCW, and his finisher, it was just a shooting star press, but it was called the 7-year itch.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing I could think of until I got a chance to look him up and see that it was Billy Kidman. Taka and Funaki, who we talked about, was one of my favorite just off-the-wall tag teams. And they were the ones that came up, and I was like, I want to rank tag teams of the 90s. And then I had Big Boss Man on here as well.
But we already know who Garrett's top 3 would be. So
right.
Like, I seriously considered having Kane in my top 5 underrated. Like, I think Kane is underrated, was underrated, and still is underrated.
Okay, so I threatened when before the show when Don joked, because you said your number 1 might not be B-list, and Don joked it was Shawn Michaels, and I threatened to headbutt you, like drive to Salina and headbutt you today at 11 o'clock at night. Like, if Kane was on your list, I would have.
I think Kane is underrated.
That would have.
I don't think he was. He was super hyped up.
But he never got to, like.
Yes, he did.
But he was never the guy, obviously. But like
he was the guy that
he was never. He would walk into he was never top 3.
What are you talking about? He killed the Undertaker and made him come back as a biker.
True.
Right, and the Undertaker's like, what the fuck was that storyline? That was shit.
That was the Undertaker's storyline. He wanted to do it because he was tired of being the dead
but
man.
Then it was like, that was fucking stupid.
Kane
I don't think Kane ever got the due he deserved.
Kane would walk into the Royal Rumble. Kane has a bunch of like records. Like
Kane eliminated 12 people in the Royal Rumble like 2 different times.
I understand that, but I still think he's underrated. Like, that's like saying,
you think the Big Show? You think the Big Show's underrated too?
Calvin Johnson from the Lions had so many great seasons, but nobody's like, oh, he's the second best wide receiver ever. Nobody like.
I mean, he's top 5.
I agree.
I don't think Kane was underrated. I think that the only reason that you're thinking he's underrated is because you're trying to put him in a top 3 list when 2 of the top 3 people
wrestlers
of 2 of the top 5 wrestlers. Honestly, 3 of them, because Triple H at this point is one of the top 5 wrestlers of all time.
Shawn Michaels was still wrestling at this time, and I think he's the
Triple H
top
5. No, Triple H is not top
all
5.
Time.
No,
I'd put Triple H top 5 all time.
No,
I don't. He'd be borderline top 5. Might as well rank him.
He's fighting for 5th.
Might as well rank him. Everybody's got The Rock, Stone Cold, and Hulk Hogan.
All my people are going to be attitude
I got Stone
era,
Cold. Stone Cold 1.
I'm not going to put like Hulk Hogan in my top 5 because I didn't watch Hulk Hogan.
But I think he's
Are you
there.
putting Diamond Dallas Page in your top 5?
No.
I used to love Diamond Dallas Page. You know what I'm going to go home and watch tonight?
My personal top 5 wrestlers
Ready
of
to
all
rumble.
time in this in this order: Stone Cold, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Triple H.
I can dig it.
Suck
up.
I think Bret Hart is
overrated.
Ooh.
See,
not top
like
5.
Bret Hart would be top
5.
10.
Bret Hart,
Mick Foley
Bret Hart
would
is
be
top
top
5.
10.
I gonna have to start another fucking poll? Is Bret Hart top 5 wrestler of all time? Like, is this?
You're not gonna win. You're not gonna win that poll either.
I think Bret Hart's top 5.
I don't think he is.
Bret Hart is the best Intercontinental Champion of all time. Yeah, that's what he is.
That's miscongeniality.
Guess what? That's a B list. That's a B-list championship.
How many fucking heavyweight titles did Bret Hart win?
3?
Not 5 or 6 or 19 like Triple H.
But Triple H has been
or
doing
16
it for,
like Ric Flair
for so ridiculously long, and he's fucking the boss's daughter.
Oh, dang.
He is the boss now at this point.
He is the boss. Also, Bret Hart's middle name apparently is Sergeant.
That makes sense. You remember the Hart Foundation? Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Jim the Anvil, Neidhart.
Yeah,
that was a real solid stable.
Well,
he's dead.
There was the Hart Foundation,
and Natalia Hart or Natalia Neidhart,
and then they got back together, and then when they split up again, Owen Hart tried to become the Black Heart or something like that.
He was I think he was the Ace of Hearts or something, or King of Hearts.
He's a 5-time WWF World Heavyweight Champion, 2-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Bret Hart. 5-time champ.
Montreal Screwjob.
Right.
5 times. I guarantee all the people that I named in my top 5 have more championships than him.
Montreal Screwjob. Bret Hart also held championships from the 1970s through the 2010s.
Yeah, in Ohio Valley Wrestling.
He had like the Stampede or whatever the fuck it was called in Canada.
Right.
Stampede Wrestling. Bret Hart's top 5. Triple H, again, fucking the boss's daughter. I gotta be like,
but he's still a really good showman.
I agree. He's a good wrestler.
Like, he was the biggest.
And it's not like it's a shtick. Like they're actually married.
I get that, but like that would be like if I married. So Ashley's dad is the manager of 3 branches of a agriculture co-op, and I worked for him. I'd be like, well, Garrett has a job there, and Don doesn't. Well, he's fucking the boss's daughter.
No, you're not.
Well, you're right. I'm married to the boss's daughter.
Oh my God. There was something I was going to say, but
Triple H is a 14-time world champion.
Oh, Triple H was such a good heel. Like, I hated everything about Triple H.
When he first, he was Hunter Hearst Hensley.
Well, no, like he was a heel after that. Like his entire career. But yes, Hunter Hearst Helmsley was a very forced heel, and then he became Triple H. But he kept the pedigree name, even though it didn't really fit with the assassin.
What he was doing anymore.
Cerebral assassin. But he as soon as he put on
the mask,
the spandex with the green X across him, I loved him. Like it when
so
he
was that easy. Like you put him in D-Generation X, and
he was a completely different character when he was D-Generation X Triple H.
Everyone loved him when he was DX because they were just like, "Yeah, fuck you, Vince McMahon, suck it."
Right.
Bunch of 9-year-olds. I got in trouble. I got in trouble so many times for sucking in, like in the house, just not even to anyone. Like I would be wrestling like a Power Ranger doll, and I'd be like, "Suck it," and then, like, yeah, and then kick them, and my mom would be like, "What'd you just say?" Fuck. Nothing.
I don't know what that is. Please don't punish me.
Yeah, I'm ignorant. Yeah. I don't know what suck it means.
Remember shouting that at my sister, like giving her the full fucking X-Pac suck it, and she just turns around. You don't know what it means. You don't fucking do it. I'm like, oh, okay. I mate. I don't know what that means.
I don't get it. Keep talking while I find out the exact amount of titles that Bret Hart won. Like, I don't think he won the Intercontinental Championship, and you guys are like, oh, he's the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Fucking Triple H won it 5 times, bitches.
Don't you guys.
You fuckers.
Reece out here.
You assholes.
Blaspheming the name of Bret the Hitman.
You're shit-talking Bret the
Hitman
Hart.
I said he was top 10, not top 5.
I would put him in top 10, not top 5.
Is this strictly WWE, or can we throw WCW in? Because then I think that changes a little bit. Like Hulk Hogan is mainly WCW. Like most of his, a big chunk of his accomplishments are WCW.
Yeah, because he went to WCW and they just threw every title at him.
Exactly. Like you still, you get credit for that, right? As a wrestler, are we talking top 5 wrestlers as a whole? We'll have to bring this back.
Yeah,
I'm Googling. That's why I'm being quiet.
We're going to do a straight, just top 5 wrestlers.
Top 10 wrestlers.
We can maybe do that.
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair is.
Woo!
Is Ric Flair better than Triple H?
Have you seen those TikToks?
Yeah,
where
so
the girlfriend.
I completely forgot Ric Flair.
See, like Andre the Giant. Is Andre
he's
the
probably
Giant
top 5.
better than...
He probably replaces Triple H in the top 5.
See?
Andre the Giant wasn't that good of a wrestler.
Right, but...
He's just big.
Aren't we all?
True.
The honky-tonk man
have you seen...
was
I don't
an Intercontinental Championship at one point.
Have you seen the TikToks where the girl will go up to her boyfriend? He's like, "What's a cow say? What's a dog say? What's a cat say? Meow." And then she'll go, "What's Ric Flair say?" And then just chop him across his chest and go, "Woo!"
I think you like that way more than you should.
Bret Hart was the Intercontinental Champion
for a day and a half.
Twice.
The first time
he lost his title to the Mountie.
Whoever that is.
I'm guessing he's Canadian oriented.
Exactly.
Oh, hold on. It's fake.
But he's so A-list. He lost to the Mountie.
Hold on. Let me point out something here real quick, Reece. It's fake.
And he probably had to lose it. He probably had to lose it to win the big championship.
Yeah, but he wasn't going to lose it in Canada. Don't make me lose it in Canada.
Oof.
Nope, he lost it in Massachusetts.
Yeah, everybody loses it in Massachusetts.
And then he was Intercontinental Champion again and lost to the British Bulldog.
Back when you actually had to be international to be like the Intercontinental Champion.
Bret Hart's from Canada.
No, because Shawn Michaels...
Is that not international?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Actually, to be honest, Shawn Michaels might be the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. I'm pretty sure he's won it like...
I don't think you're giving Jeff Jarrett his due.
Jeff Jarrett
with his freaking guitar. God. Just smashing it over people's heads.
So Jeff Jarrett was also... He was somebody that I thought of, but I just didn't have enough like good memories of him to talk about him enough to put him on my list.
Guitars shattering.
Just literally smashing. Yeah.
We might have to revisit. We're just turning out to be pretty passionate about the WWF, the WWE, and wrestling in general. Let us know on Twitter if you want us to go more in depth into this stuff.
Because we'll bitch about it with each other for a long time.
And if you don't like it, we're probably going to do it anyway.
So you might as well get on board with it. All right, so
fuck the fans.
Two episodes in a row now, Don hasn't brought up a conspiracy theory. I think it's because he's saving them for a conspiracy theory ranked episode.
I mean, we talked about the Montreal screw job.
A big scooping helping of foreshadowing there.
Hashtag Epstein didn't kill himself.
Well, that's not a conspiracy theory. That's fact. So that'll do it for this episode. Reece is on Twitter at RA Wolford OSU. Don is at Donnie _G. I'm at Garrett C. Wright. You can tell us how stupid we all are on the tweet machine. We are also on RankEmPodcast on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. And we are available wherever it is you download your podcast. So iHeartRadio app, Spotify, iTunes, wherever it is. Give us a like, thumbs up. Subscribe, 5-star review, however you can help us out. We certainly appreciate it. We will catch you next time on the RankEmPodcast. Again, thanks to Reece and Don for joining us this week as we rank our top 5 Attitude Era wrestlers. And sounds like we roped ourselves into a couple more episodes here on the RankEmPodcast. We'll catch you next time.